Millions of years ago, in the heart of the Jurassic period, a giant walked the earth. It was taller than any animal that had ever lived before. It could reach the tops of trees that no other creature could touch. Its name was Brachiosaurus, the sky giant. Unlike most dinosaurs, Brachiosaurus didn't hunt or fight. It lived in peace, spending its days searching for food among the endless forests of ferns and tall trees. It used its long neck to reach leaves high above the ground, where no predator could follow. The air was warm, the earth was green, and this gentle giant ruled by size alone. It was built like a moving mountain. Its front legs were longer than its back legs, which made its body tilt upward, giving it a natural reach toward the sky. Its long neck stretched out like a living bridge between the earth and the treetops. Its heart, as big as a small car, pumped blood all the way to its head. The power needed to keep this creature alive was enormous, but nature had designed it perfectly. Brachiosaurus lived in herds, moving slowly across the land. The ground shook gently under their steps, but they caused no fear. They were calm, slow, and steady. Their size kept them safe, and their world was full of food. They didn't need to run or hide. They were built to last. As they walked through the forests, their heads disappeared into the green canopy. Their long tails swept the ground, clearing paths for smaller animals. The sound of their breathing mixed with the wind in the leaves, a quiet rhythm of life that ruled the Jurassic Age. Above all, they represented balance. They were proof that even in a world of predators and chaos, peace could exist on a massive scale. The sky giant had risen, and the world looked small beneath its shadow. The world of Brachiosaurus was a kingdom of green. The air was thick with moisture, and every breath carried the smell of plants. Rivers moved slowly through wide valleys, and forests stretched farther than the eye could see. Ferns grew taller than people, and trees reached the height of modern buildings. The land was alive with sound, the calls of other dinosaurs, the splash of water, the wind moving through the leaves. This was a peaceful world, but it was never empty. Herds of Stegosaurus wandered nearby, feeding on lower plants. Small raptors moved quietly in the shadows, hunting lizards and insects. But when Brachiosaurus appeared, everything stopped. Its massive body blocked the light, and its steps made the ground tremble. It wasn't dangerous, but its size demanded respect. Every morning, the herd began to move with the sun. They followed the rivers, staying close to water and fresh leaves. As they walked, they ate constantly, their long necks sweeping from tree to tree, collecting food without effort. They didn't chew. They swallowed leaves whole, and their giant stomachs did the rest. Nature had given them everything they needed to live in plenty. They shared their world with giants, and even the predators knew to stay away. Allosaurs and ceratosaurs sometimes tried to attack, but one kick from a Brachiosaurus could crush bones. The hunters preferred easier prey. They learned to wait until the herd passed and returned to the shadows. In the evenings, the Brachiosaurs gathered in open spaces. The sun fell behind the forests, and their long necks rose like towers against the orange sky. They rested standing, too heavy to lie down for long. The air cooled slowly, and the green world became quiet again, until only the sound of their slow breathing filled the valley. In this calm kingdom, Brachiosaurus thrived. It was not the fastest or the strongest, but it was the most enduring. Its world was stable, its food endless, and its life unhurried. For millions of years, the sky giant lived in harmony with the land that fed it. Everything about Brachiosaurus was designed for size and balance. It was one of the tallest creatures to ever live, reaching heights over 13 meters and weighing more than 50 tons. Yet it moved with surprising grace, each step slow but steady, as if the earth itself carried its weight. Its long neck was made of huge bones connected by powerful muscles. It could lift its head high to reach food that no other animal could touch. The blood from its heart had to travel over 6 meters to reach the brain. That meant its heart had to be one of the strongest in history, beating with enormous pressure every second to keep it alive. Its lungs were massive too, designed to hold enough air for such a giant body. Breathing wasn't easy at that size, but nature had a solution. Brachiosaurus had a system of air sacs inside its body, just like birds today. These sacs made it easier to move air through the lungs and kept its body from overheating. Its bones were hollow but strong. They made the dinosaur lighter than it looked and helped it move without sinking into the ground. Its legs were thick like tree trunks, each one ending in a single large claw at the front. The front legs were longer than the back, which gave its body that special upright shape, perfect for reaching into the highest parts of the forest. Its tail balanced its long neck, keeping its body stable as it walked. The head was small compared to the body, but its eyes were sharp, and its nostrils were on top of its head, allowing it to breathe while eating high in the trees or even while standing partly in water. Brachiosaurus ate hundreds of kilograms of leaves every day. Its teeth were shaped like spoons, made to strip leaves from branches but not to chew them. It swallowed everything whole, and inside its enormous stomach, the plants were broken down slowly by fermentation and heat. The process created energy and kept the giant alive for decades. Despite its size, Brachiosaurus was gentle. It didn't need to fight or run. It simply existed, steady and unchallenged. Its body was a masterpiece of evolution, built to rise above the forest and live in balance with the earth. Life for Brachiosaurus was never still. The herd was always moving, searching for new forests and fresh food. As soon as one valley was stripped of leaves, they continued their slow march toward the next. They followed the rhythm of the land, the seasons, the rivers, the sun. Brachiosaurs were travelers, giants walking the same paths for generations. They moved in groups, each one made up of adults, young ones, and sometimes even older individuals who guided the way. The strongest led from the front, clearing a path through the trees. The young stayed close to the center of the herd, protected by the size of the adults. Their unity was their safety. A lone Brachiosaurus was rare. They were born to live together. When they traveled, the ground shook under their weight. Their steps left deep tracks that could last for centuries in the soft mud. The sound of their movement was like distant thunder. Even predators like Allosaurus or Ceratosaurus kept their distance. They knew that no attack could bring down such giants without great risk. The journey was slow but constant. They crossed wide plains and deep rivers, using their height to see far across the land. When storms came, the herd gathered tightly, forming a wall of strength to protect the young from wind and rain. When the sun returned, they moved again, unchanged and unstoppable. Every day was the same rhythm: walk, eat, rest, move on. It was the simple life of survival, but also a peaceful one. The herd didn't fight for power or territory. They lived for balance, following the food and water that sustained them. Their size gave them patience. They didn't need to hurry. Time belonged to them. And as they moved across the ancient world, they shaped it. Their weight carved paths through forests and created trails that smaller creatures would later follow. Their feeding changed how plants grew, spreading seeds over great distances. The sky giants didn't just live in their world. They built it step by step with every journey they made. The world of Brachiosaurus did not stay the same forever. The earth was always moving, changing, adapting. New mountains rose, old rivers dried, and the air itself began to shift. The once endless green forests started to thin out. Some plants disappeared, others took their place. The weather grew hotter and drier in many regions, and the peaceful world of the giants began to change. For generations, Brachiosaurs followed the same ancient paths. But now those paths led to emptier lands. The trees were smaller, the rivers shallower. The herds had to travel farther to find food and water. Their long necks still reached the trees, but the leaves were fewer, the forests thinner. The giants were beginning to struggle. Predators had changed too. New hunters appeared, stronger and faster than before. The peaceful lands of the Jurassic were turning into the harsher world of the Cretaceous. Even though Brachiosaurus was safe from most threats, its home was not. It depended on the balance of nature, and that balance was fading. As the climate shifted, some herds moved north, others vanished into the deep valleys where food still grew. But fewer young survived each season. Less food meant less strength, and the once massive herds slowly became smaller. The giants that had ruled the forests for millions of years were losing their kingdom. Still, they didn't give up. Brachiosaurs adapted as best they could. They ate new types of plants, walked longer distances, and kept moving toward wetter lands. But the changes of the Earth were too great, and time was against them. Every new generation faced a harder world than the last. Eventually, the great herds became rare. The forests that once shook beneath their feet grew quiet. Their calls faded from the valleys, and the last of the sky giants disappeared from the land. They were not defeated by a predator, but by the slow hand of time itself. Even though Brachiosaurus disappeared millions of years ago, its legacy still stands high above the history of life on Earth. It became a symbol of peace, of balance, and of nature's ability to create life on a massive scale. No other animal before or after reached the sky quite like it did. The sky giant showed the world that size could exist without violence, and power could live in harmony. When scientists first found its bones, they were amazed by its design. The long neck, the strange body shape, the enormous heart, it all seemed impossible. But with every fossil that was uncovered, a new piece of the puzzle appeared. Brachiosaurus wasn't just big. It was perfect for its world. Every bone, every muscle, every breath had a purpose. Its fossils told a story of survival and adaptation. The Earth changed, but Brachiosaurus had lived through it for millions of years. It thrived in a time when volcanoes shaped the land and storms swept across continents. It saw the rise and fall of other species, and still it walked tall above them all. Even today, it inspires us. We build machines to reach the sky, towers that touch the clouds, and we still look at Brachiosaurus as the first creature that truly did the same. It reminds us that life can grow to unbelievable heights if the world allows it. The sky giant's time ended long ago, but its image remains, carved into museums, painted in books, reborn in our imagination. It stands as proof that the planet was once ruled not by aggression, but by balance and beauty. The age of the Brachiosaurus may be over, but its legacy continues to live in every forest that still reaches for the light. When the last of the giants disappeared, the earth fell silent. The forests that once shook under their footsteps turned calm again, but every rock, every mountain, and every layer of soil still remembers them. The world we walk on today was once their home. Brachiosaurus and its kin shaped the planet in ways we still try to understand. They changed the air, the forests, and the balance of life itself. Their weight pressed the land, their breath filled the sky, and their journey left behind the foundation of the modern world. Now only fossils remain, yet through them, we can still hear the echoes of their lives. Every discovery brings them closer to us, reminding us that these creatures were real, that they ruled this earth long before us, and that the ground beneath our feet still carries their story.